Hi, Samar.
Hello, Marjan.
Nice to have you here. Finally, I've had you in my mind for a while to come in here and share with us your story.
Well,
And I know
thank
you
you.
have a unique one.
Thank you for inviting
I
me.
know. It's my pleasure. Okay, so we go back a while. I mean, we're friends, best friends with your parents. And then I came to know you and visiting over, and I started knowing what you're doing and saw a little bit of your art, photography. The thing is, I never sat down to talk with you one to one and
That's
see
true.
what it is that you do. So I said, okay, this is a good opportunity. Let me have her come in here and share with us her story. And usually, what we do is I would like you to start from, say, high school. What happened? Did the passion start from there? And then we go along from there.
Okay.
So let's go back to high school.
All right. Going back to high school. That was, I graduated in 2001. So that was quite a while ago.
Okay.
At that time, it wasn't really something, to think of to study photography or filmmaking or really
Exactly.
any arts.
Exactly.
It wasn't on the
Yeah.
table even. It
Right.
didn't even cross your mind. So even though I grew up, I'll go even further back. I grew up loving
Perfect.
movies, and I
Okay.
used to direct plays at home.
No way.
And my dad used to film them. We have a lot of them.
Okay.
So I would ask/force my cousins and my sister and brother and my friends to be in my plays, and I would direct them at home. And my dad would film every single one of them.
Okay. So he was you were the producer.
I was
and
the
he was
director.
the director.
He was
Yeah.
the producer, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. And I always acted in it as well. That was also
Of course.
important.
Yeah. You had to be there.
So-
Was it the first role always or
No,
different roles?
actually, not all. It was usually a supporting role
Yeah,
or
okay.
the villain. I enjoyed playing the
The
villain.
villain,
I just
okay.
thought it was a fun
Okay.
character to play. I had this passion for the arts since I was a kid, but it didn't occur to me to study this when it was 2001. I'm really interested also in culture and society. So
Okay.
I studied sociology and anthropology in Toronto.
Oh, so that's your major in college.
That's my major.
That's where you started.
That's where I
Okay.
started.
Okay.
But I actually decided to change halfway through.
Lovely.
So halfway through, I had a lot of friends in the sociology field that were already working, in the anthropology field that were already working. And I realized that although I loved the subject and I was doing well in university and everything, the end result was not going to be what I was envisioning.
Why?
Because
What did you see that made you think that way?
well, I was very idealistic. I wanted to, work for the United Nations and help resolve issues in the world.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I knew friends that worked in various fields in many organizations, and it just wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay.
It wasn't what I
Okay.
was expecting. So, I mean, it's a beautiful organization, and I would be honored to work with them even now. But at that time, it wasn't the right thing for me. I just knew it.
Okay.
So I came back home. I took a short break, and then I
This
went.
is halfway through college, so
This
you
is
did
halfway
not
through.
graduate.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't
That's
finish
interesting.
with sociology and
Okay.
anthropology.
Okay.
Although I still find it to be a fascinating subject, and I incorporate it into my work actually.
Yes.
Even now.
Yeah.
But so I went to visit some friends in London, old friends, and someone told me, your passion was always filmmaking. Why didn't you go into that? And after 2 years of being in university, you have different views of the world,
Right.
and you see more possibilities, perhaps. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I take a course here in London, a short course? And I found one. And I'm very lucky because my parents were supportive.
I was just going to ask you that. What were they thinking? What was their...
I mean, I'm very, very fortunate
Okay.
because they understood that I was unhappy. And they wanted me to do something that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
They're both doctors, as you know, and they're very passionate about their field, and they love their work. So they wanted the same for me.
Okay.
So I took a short course in the London Film Academy, and I just felt like I was home. I just felt like this is my place. I absolutely loved it, and I went on to study in the UK, and I have my filmmaking degree from there.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I keep thinking, okay, I know it'll come.
Yes.
Because I didn't know that you got the degree from there.
Yes.
Okay. So now you graduated college, filmmaking? Is that the...
Filmmaking,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. What happened
major.
next? What happened
Then I
next?
went to Dubai.
That's okay. That's what, because I remember
Yes.
Dubai.
Yes.
Somewhere there.
Yes. My
Okay.
college had an affiliation with Dubai, so I did the last semester there, actually.
Okay.
I felt like it was time to get closer to home, to start to make connections, to start to build business, not partnerships, but start working, really.
Yeah.
And I didn't see myself staying in the UK, so I thought, let's do the last semester a bit closer to home.
I was just going to ask that,
Yeah.
filmmaking is something very different here in
It
our
is.
culture, and we don't really see that many people going and studying that. So the having to work in that sector would be difficult. So didn't it come to your mind that, oh, I wouldn't be able to do anything home, let me stay in England?
No, because I thought that, I always think this, that where there's a gap, it needs to be filled.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
So, and Dubai did have things going on at that time.
Okay.
I went and I did an internship at MBC. It was very interesting, but I realized I didn't want to work in television for sure.
Okay.
But I very much enjoyed the internship at MBC. I saw how they did their news broadcasting. I saw how they did their channels, how they prepared the advertisements for movies, all kinds of things.
Okay.
It was an interesting thing.
And how long was that?
How long was I?
Did you stay there for your internship?
So long ago now, I don't even remember.
Yeah, right.
think
I mean, was it like 6 months, a year?
something? I think it was around 6 months. I honestly don't remember exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
But I also taught there. I taught filmmaking.
Okay.
And I did a lot of jobs as well. I took freelance jobs as an assistant to a filmmaker, as a videographer, and just getting experience, basically.
Okay. So mostly it was filmmaking. It was videos, filmmaking. It was not photography as such. Okay.
Yes. But I did have... That's, my passion for photography actually was since the days of Toronto. I was really into photography since then. It was something I never thought of as a career, though. It was just something I enjoyed and appreciated.
And what kind of photography would be? Would it be children? Would it be nature? Would it be food? Or just general?
When I was around 16, my dad got me a camera, and I went around, as soon as I got my license, I would drive around Bahrain and photograph just buildings and, landscapes and different things, trying to show it in a different way than what you normally see. So that was the interesting part for me, is to see things in a different way. So that has changed a lot. Between then and now, what my interest is. But it's still in trying to show something in my own vision. Trying to tell a story, basically.
Great. So we're in Dubai. You did your
Yes.
internship. What happened next?
Well, then I got married and I had my son. When I was gonna have my son, I decided to come back to Bahrain.
Okay.
Because it's close enough to Dubai, and it's just I felt like I needed it. I needed my family's support in order to be able to continue working.
Right.
In order to, I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom, although there's, that's an amazing
Of
job
course.
in itself.
Yeah.
It just, I never pictured it for myself. I wanted to still have a career. So we moved to Bahrain, and I started teaching at Ahliya University.
Oh, what?
Yes, filmmaking.
Filmmaking?
Yes.
Do they have filmmaking?
Yes, they have.
What-
It's an elective course. It's not a major.
I see. Okay.
So I taught filmmaking, and then they told me, can you also teach photography? And that's where my hobby of photography became a profession, because it's by, I knew things, but I had to actually learn them properly in order to teach them.
True.
They say the best way to learn is to teach. And I learned a lot from teaching
Okay.
photography.
What major was that in that they needed, the elective was in it?
I think
Interior,
you can add
was it?
I think you can add it to any major. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. But I got students from all kinds of fields, actually, that had an interest in photography or filmmaking.
That's interesting because I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
I just, all of a sudden, I knew that, you had a business of photography.
Yes.
But how it happened, I never came to know.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. So now you're in Al Ahliya,
Yes.
and you're teaching filmmaking and now photography.
And then the director of the media department had to go for his to study. So I was also the acting director of the media department.
Okay.
It was a lot of things going on all at once, and I was pregnant also on top of that.
Your second child.
My first.
Oh, the first
We're
one.
still
okay.
on the first one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So leading up to the time of my son's birth, I started to look for photographers to do a photo shoot of my pregnancy and of him. And that's where I saw a gap of what I wanted personally for myself. And I learned I took workshops online.
Okay.
And I read books and I researched it a lot. I really enjoy researching. It's a big part of what got me to where I am.
Nice.
So I learned how to take photos of him in the way that I wanted him to be photographed. And once I did that, friends and family asked me to do the same for their kids. And that's how it started to become it was like a weekend, hobby.
Okay.
That I started to charge for after some time when the network grew and it started to be strangers asking me for photo shoots. That's when I started.
And you were still in Al Ahliya?
I was still in
Ahliya, okay.
Yes.
Teaching there.
Yes.
Okay, so you have your first kid, and that made you start photographing children, babies.
Babies, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So what happened next?
So after a while, after about, now the timeline, I don't remember it exactly.
Yeah.
But
okay.
After 2 years, I had my daughter. So I think it was a little bit after that. The photography side of my business, that was just the weekend, a weekend thing, started to grow.
Okay.
And I decided to go part-time with my job at Al Ahliya and part-time as a photographer. So it was I remember being very nervous because it was a big decision to make to change this, direction of my career in a way, but still have some stability at the same time. So I stayed at the university as a part-time employee.
Okay.
And I went through with the photography business as well.
Okay. Were you doing that alone, or now did you bring in assistants or were you collaborating with other people in some aspects
I
of
did everything on my own.
on your okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did that for quite a while. And after a few years, I decided to go full-time into photography, and I resigned from my job at Al Ahliya.
Okay.
And I think that was in, I'm not sure really, maybe 2012, 2013, somewhere around then. And since then, I've been a full-time photographer.
Okay. But I'm sure you evolved from just taking pictures of babies
Yes.
into what?
Right. So, I mean, taking pictures of babies is a challenge. So I wouldn't, look down on it in any way. It's something really beautiful and very challenging in its own way.
Yeah.
You have to manage a lot of things. You have
Right.
to manage, how the baby's mood is, but you also have to manage how the parents are feeling, and there's a lot of emotions going into it.
Okay.
But after some time, I started to get approached also for commercial work, which I found interesting to do. In fact, during my maternity leave, by the end of it, when I was for my daughter, my second child, when I had enough energy and she was a little bit more independent.
Right.
I did some photo shoots with a friend of mine just to build our portfolios. She was a stylist.
Okay.
And I wanted to try fashion photography. So we did our own shoots. We hired models. We didn't, it's collaboration. Everybody
Right.
was there to collaborate.
Right.
So we found some models, we created concepts, and we did about, I think, 4 or 5 different shoots. And I decided, why don't I enter these into a competition at the Professional Photographers of America magazine. It was a magazine that I was a subscriber to, and I was also part of the PPA's group. So I sent a few of the photos, and several of them got awarded.
Oh wow!
And got published internationally in their book, their yearly book, and they also got exhibited in Atlanta. And that was at the very beginning of my photography career.
Which is a good boost.
It was a nice boost. It was because I was self-taught. It was a nice, confidence boost to know that, okay,
I am doing something right.
The professional photographers of America think that I'm doing something right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, I started getting also a few commercial jobs in Bahrain.
Like in what sector of commercial?
For example, I photographed for Seif Mall and Fraser Suites.
Yeah.
That was those were a few of my very first, commercial jobs. And I started also to get hired for restaurants. And that's where I really found a spot of the market that I enjoy. I really discovered that I enjoyed food photography.
Yeah.
And I had an eye for it, I suppose.
Right. And there wasn't any much emotions in it you to hassle with.
Yes, less emotional.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I enjoyed the aspect of everybody being a grown up. That was a change.
Yeah, exactly.
At home, I was surrounded by kids. At work, I was surrounded by kids. It was. Time for a change, I think, for me. And once that started to happen, it took many, many years for it to slowly overlap with the family photography and go into more commercial photography. And now about 90% of my work is commercial photography. I still photograph some families that I used to photograph, since I started, and I can't say no to them.
Okay.
They come back to me every year for a shoot, certain families.
Yes.
And it's a really special experience, and I value that a lot, actually, because it reminds me of where I came from.
Right.
And also there's a lot of value actually in giving people memories of them, of their families.
Yeah.
It's very meaningful.
I remember for a while when the kids were growing up, every year in Eid time, we would dress up and all that before going to family house.
Yes.
We would go and take a picture. So for a few years, we have those pictures, and it's amazing how we change, and how the kids grow in front of you, and then you have it there in the pictures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I can, relate. I can understand and imagine if you're the one who's taking the photos of them and seeing in front of you them growing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are families that I photograph now that I photographed, when she was pregnant with her first
Yes.
child, and now she has her second child, and the first child is 5 years old or
Yeah.
older.
Right.
So it's amazing to see other families growing and to capture their memories for them.
Nice. And I guess now this got me something another thing in my mind is that from your perspective, I think you see yourself also in another perspective, let's say, when you're taking the picture like 2 or 3 years ago, how you did it, and now how you're doing it now, and what you see now that you didn't see the other. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's photography is a surprisingly deep field. There's always evolution in it, like any art. I think you always evolve in your style, in your knowledge, in the way you like to approach things, and even the subjects that you like to photograph.
Right.
Can evolve over time. For example, now I'm also going to start a new chapter of my photography.
Okay.
And I'm going to start offering portraits for women. And this is something that means a lot to me because I really believe that every woman deserves to see herself the way that she feels on the inside. And that's the idea of the new chapter of photography that I'm going to offer, called Bloom by Summer. So it's a chance for a transformative experience. She comes, she gets her makeup done, she gets her hair done, she gets a stylist to help her out, with clothing options, and she just gets pampered for a day, and it results in beautiful images.
Amen.
All right. All
Amen.
right.
Amen. Okay, I remember few years back you made a short movie.
Yes.
Tell us about that. I loved it, by the way.
Thank you.
Thought it was just really amazing. But tell us and let's share it with them.
Yeah. So that was a short video, and also it was a music video at the same time for a friend of mine, a Spanish singer and guitarist named Iban. He came to me asking me if I could create a video for him, basically. And I said, yes, sure, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And we sat down thinking about ideas, and it was actually his idea to show himself as three people from three different nationalities, because he's very talented and he plays 3 instruments.
Right.
He actually plays more than that, but in this song we focused on 3 instruments, which were the guitar, the Spanish guitar, and the oud and the sitar.
Yes.
So he said, why don't we create a video where I play 3 different characters, and each one is from a different background playing that instrument. So I took that idea into also, into something spiritual. Yeah. Basically, what you seek is seeking you. That's the quotation that ends the video.
Right.
So basically, he finds himself in others that have the same passion as him, kind of.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Yes, so we actually, after we put the idea together and I wrote the script and I wrote all of the shot lists and everything, we approached a production company, Geo Productions at that time, and they agreed to fund it for us and to provide us with, a whole team.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it was
Okay.
a team of about 5 people. So we had lighting, we had camera guys, we had the whole thing, and I directed it. And it was a great experience. We had very limited resources, very limited budget. We could only shoot over the course of 1.5 days, but they helped us to get permissions to shoot in Muharraq, the streets
Yeah, I
of
remember.
Muharraq, which was
Yeah, I
important
remember.
to
Yeah,
me
yeah.
because I grew up in
Muharraq,
Muharraq.
yes.
And I have a lot of beautiful memories with my grandma in Muharraq, and I just wanted to incorporate that touch of Bahrain also into the shoot.
Yeah.
So we shot in the streets of Muharraq, and then we shot also in Beit Jamshir,
Yeah, yeah.
a beautiful house in Muharraq.
Yes.
So those were the 2 locations we shot in, and we spent 1.5 days shooting. The second day, we stayed till about 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happened with that short video?
Right.
Where did it go?
We submitted it to a few festivals.
Right.
And it actually gained us some awards.
Okay.
We won Best Female Director in a festival in Barcelona.
Well, there you go.
And also Best Short Film in Canada.
Nice.
Yes, in
Yeah.
the festival
So
there.
your childhood memories and experiences came to fruition.
Absolutely. I really felt like a kid,
Yes, yeah.
playing and creating something.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. What do your children think about all of this? Do they enjoy what you're doing? Are they interested in it? They're not interested in it?
Well, I think like many kids today, my kids want to be YouTubers.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
are interested,
Yeah.
especially in the filmmaking aspect of things. And I actually told them, if you want to show your face on YouTube, you have to pass my course. You have to take a course with me at home. I've been teaching them lighting, video production, and how to edit. They know how to edit their own videos, light them, and shoot them. And
Wow.
they're still in the course. But
Okay.
when they graduate from the course, then they'll be allowed to show their face on YouTube.
Okay. Do you teach that course? No, really.
I like to
Yeah.
the public. No, I don't.
Have you ever thought?
I have thought about it actually. I've thought about doing a lot of different courses. And now that I have a studio space, I've had a studio space for the last 2 years. That's
Okay.
In Manama. And I've had studio spaces over the years, but this one is
Proper one.
the proper
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So inshallah, after the COVID,
Really? No, you
rush.
have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I personally know many people who would. I mean, we would love to get to know exactly the lighting
Yes.
and all that. I mean, we're doing this, but we're doing it out of not out of passion, out of something
Yeah.
to give back, but putting things together, but not professionally.
Well, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
But it's always
Yeah.
nice to learn more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I said, we'll start no matter what. I want to do this. I have this idea. I can't wait until everything is perfect to do it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So let me start with whatever we have, and then we can grow together. With
Yeah.
now, my son is helping me, so it's a joy.
Yeah.
Having him do this with me, and then I learn, he learns, and we're learning together.
That's
and
wonderful.
And we're giving back something to the society,
Yeah.
which are the unique stories of you guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great way to spend family time together.
Together, exactly. Yeah. So what's next for summer? Tell me.
So I'm going to be launching Bloom by Summer,
Right.
which is for women's photography. And I'm continuing on with my commercial photography, still photographing hotels, restaurants,
Oh, okay.
and commercial shoots. I
So
really enjoy the creativity of that.
So that is going on, and
Absolutely.
okay. And I guess now, with inshallah everything getting back to normal, a lot of movements will be happening. Hotels will be starting again,
Yes.
working full time, and yeah, that'll be nice. Do you feel like you would like your children to go? I know everyone is different. Everyone
Yeah.
has their own personality, their own passion, and all that. Do you see your kids having this passion at all, or no, they're not into
Um,
to this?
I don't think they
No,
are.
no. Okay,
They find it interesting. In fact, I bring them to assist me on shoots sometimes.
okay,
They assisted me a few days ago, actually. So they find it interesting, and they like the fact that photography, gets me to go to places that I normally wouldn't be able to go, or see things that I normally wouldn't be able to see. And sometimes I get the opportunity to bring them with me, and they enjoy those experiences because
Right.
they feel like they're getting a sneak peek of something.
yeah,
But no, I think they each have their own personality
Nice.
and their own interests, and I encourage that actually.
okay, lovely, lovely. Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us. And so, what is the name of your studio, by the way?
Verano Creatives.
Verano
Verano
Creatives.
Creatives. Verano means summer in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're a lover of Spain.
Yes, yes, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
And I actually do some business there as well sometimes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, all the best. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing
Thank you
this with
for
us.
having me.
Thanks.